For Cape Breton Richmond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for allowing me an opportunity to speak towards Develop Nova Scotia, Bill number 2, changes that are recommended towards a couple of clauses and pages here in the original Develop Nova Scotia Act. It's very apparent that we're really between a rock and a hard place as far as voting yes or no on this particular bill. If in my heart of hearts, simply because of the very few changes that I had put forth in this House, which I truly believe does reflect changes that should be made in order to protect and truly represent all Nova Scotians with regard to the economic development that is proposed to be going forward under the under Develop Nova Scotia. It's unfortunate that those changes were not accepted, and I know it was a little bit heated there in the last time we were talking about Develop Nova Scotia within this chamber. I appreciated that the minister apologized for some of the remarks that he made at that time, and I accept those apologies. He did. He apologized. It may not be on record, but it's all good. I wanted to say that it is extremely important that we do roll out broadband service as well as cellular service in this province. As the minister said, and I have absolutely no doubt that Jennifer Angel and her team are more than capable of being able to project manage the scope of the project ahead for broadband service. Certainly, it's no disparity towards her or anyone who obviously works within her team structure. But what I'm truly concerned about with putting forth this bill without the amendments that were suggested was really the lack of having regional representation at the table at the board level. There's a lot of money that's going to be rolling through this Crown Corporation just with the broadband service project alone. It's $193 million. It's a lot of money. And we want to make 100% sure that every single Nova Scotian and every single region within Nova Scotia has an equal opportunity to be able to access those services that the project that is about to be rolled out will hopefully enact throughout Nova Scotia. I know in my constituency in particular, we have a huge problem with accessing just basic landlines. Cellular phone service is missing in a great deal of the Cape Breton constituency, the Cape Breton Richmond constituency rather. And there's no guarantee really, because I don't know what the guidelines yet for the project rollout will be. It makes me very uncomfortable when there are announcements that are made, for example, by this government for something such as, the pilot projects that's going on across the province with ATVers, and that we see that most of those projects save one, in fact, all of the projects save one, are in Liberal constituencies. So there is no doubt in my mind that there's obviously favoritism towards certain regions of the province based on what color perhaps, what color the constituency perhaps flies at this time. At the end of the day, I am a member of the opposition, and I look across the floor and we have a majority across the House. So in the end, the governing party does not have to listen to any of our concerns or any of our suggestions. They don't have to enact, then I will say, any of our suggestions necessarily, because we know that in the end that they can pass whatever it is that they wish. What I would really like to see happen in this House, and I certainly do hope that the minister and those representatives who are across from me, who I respect and I would hope that they respect me in return, that this is something that is of grave concern to me. I would like to have seen representation on the board of directors from across this province. And perhaps that's an amendment that will only be able to be made when there's a change in government next time around. And I can put on record right now that it'll be an amendment that certainly I will be putting forward to caucus to make next time around, should we be so lucky as to change seats. I would like to say as well a thank you to the minister and his staff. I know that putting legislation forward is always quite a feat. There's a lot of there are a lot of things in here that need to be sorted out. There's hopefully a lot of consultations that are done. With regard to the area that speaks about strategic planning, again, and we just saw it again with the bill that we just spoke about just only a few moments ago for the Halifax Convention Centre, it seems that there is a trend currently with this government to scale back on a certain amount of accountability. So with the strategic planning process, yet again, within Develop Nova Scotia and also the Convention Centre, 5 years, and I mentioned this before, 5 years is way too long to have a reporting process on whether a strategic plan is actually working or not. So certainly I'd be looking to make amendments to that as well with the other bill. So again, there is no way that my caucus, without being slammed, I don't think, would be able to say no on this bill. We need to get moving, obviously, on this project. We need to have a Crown Corporation, and I'm in agreement with that, to take the lead in obviously rolling that project out. You know, I guess in the end, Mr. Speaker, all I want to say is that I really would like to make certain that this government hears that all Nova Scotians expect, especially those Nova Scotians that are shareholders within Crown corporations. They are corporate shareholders in these projects. They should be permitted to have the highest level of accountability that is available to them to make certain that their dollars are being spent in the right direction. So with that, Mr. Speaker, my caucus mates and I will eventually say yes to this bill, and I thank you for hearing my comments today.